Okay, looks like we got some people in here. Good morning, can you hear me? Welcome, welcome, Gregory and Jeff. Morning. How are you guys today? It is after a long weekend, Memorial Day, awesome. How you guys are doing good? It is sunshine here in Pittsburgh, PA, so I'm happy. Great. Where are you guys at? Good. Where are you living at right now? Where are you currently at? Virginia Beach. Oh, it's raining there. It's usually raining here in Pittsburgh. It's like the new Seattle here. Virginia Beach, beautiful place. And Illinois, okay, very good. How's the weather there, Gregory? Sunny, good. Yeah, just finally. I don't know about you guys. I know Virginia probably wasn't like this, but we had snow mid-May here in Pittsburgh, so we were definitely looking forward to the sunshine. So, all right, we got Craig here, and Craig is your lab instructor. We're gonna introduce him here as we go forward. Welcome. All right, let's get started. My name is April Biss, and you can just call me April. That's fine. This is your first lecture for your first class, exciting, DGD101. It is May 26th. I'm glad all of you are here. And, those of you who are listening, if you have any questions at the end of the recording, let me know for sure. Let's get started. All right, so welcome you guys, a new mod. As we get started, we're gonna go over a few things, kind of like a little housekeeping information here about the course. But just to kind of give you a little bit of a kind of an intro to this course, we're going to be doing some really cool and interesting things in here, give you a really nice foundation in regards to the software that you're working on, some tips on saving your information, just the industry standard software and hardware best functioning tips. You will also learn the best practices in design workflow and including file organization, file management, time management, and system backup and maintenance. All very important when you're starting your career here as a student and becoming a designer. It's always good to kind of get into those best practices, because once you get into the working world, you just kind of hit the ground running. And what I mean by that is you've got to go with whoever your employer is. You have to go with their workflow. Everybody has their way of setting things up to keep things organized. And then also on your end, to become a more efficient designer and student is really important to, successfully completing your courses, your projects, and then in real life when you do get a design job. I know that this is something too that you're gonna learn in school, and then when you go into the working world, you're gonna also add on to that. So there's certain things we can't teach you here, obviously, but I'm gonna try my best to give you some insight on my experiences. So again, my name is April Biss. Just a little info about me and introduce myself. This is my information, contact information. This is all provided in Canvas as well, so you can find it in the in your actual course, and I'll show you that in a second. My email address is my first and last name at independence.edu. And here's my work phone. I have, and also my personal Behance site. I haven't actually had, this is crazy. I haven't had time to really update my portfolio. So I need to get definitely going on that. But there's definitely some newer stuff there on that website. So if you want to check out what I've done so far in recent work, definitely check that out. I just finished a book cover for an author, so that's on there as well. Just a little bit about me too in regards to my background and credentials. I went to school on ground to get my bachelor's many years ago. I won't tell you that when I graduated, but many years ago in Pittsburgh. And then I started working right out of college. I got my bachelor's. I started working at an ad agency a smaller ad agency, which was really nice because I was able to work alongside the president who took me under her wing. And I was able to do a lot of things that normal, first time designers wouldn't be able to do in a bigger company. I was able to, work with clients and go to press checks, do some of those things that I probably wouldn't have had the opportunity to do if I was working at a bigger place. So I worked there, and then I actually worked there for about a year. I loved it, but then I ended up making a move to Ohio to pursue other opportunities. And I worked there for an ad agency there for about 3.5 years. And it was a little bigger than the first job that I had. I worked with illustrators and photographers and other designers in a studio environment. It was an ad agency. Great experience. I worked, I did some some really interesting projects for clients within the Akron, Ohio, even Cleveland, Ohio area. So that was fun. And then I ended up getting kind of into more of the publication side. I got a job at another place. I kind of was wanting to seek other opportunities and go into the publication side of things. So I went and worked for a publication called Babcock's Publications, and that was in Akron. And I did, and this is going to kind of sound funny to you, but it was for an automotive aftermarket magazine, which I had no idea. I like cars, but I'm not, I'm not like an engineer or anything. But I got a job there. It was all women except for one man art directors. So what happened was they had probably about 7 or 8 magazines that they would send out to, car makers, engineers. And my publication went out monthly. It was called Engine Builder. And I was the art director for that. And I worked alongside the publisher there, as well as the ad crew. And that was a bigger place. So that was really, really cool. It really got me into the side of the publication industry. I worked there probably for almost 2 years, and then I moved to Florida after I got married. So a lot of moving around. But when I moved to Florida, I had to quickly get a job. My husband at the time moved there because of a job opportunity, and I had to find one. But I ended up working for 3 magazines, 3 publication companies in Florida, which was really cool. So that's kind of where I got into teaching when I was living in Tampa. I got into teaching on ground there, and I fell in love, and then I was pushed to get my master's because their accreditation changed, and I couldn't teach there anymore unless I had my master's. So I said, what a great opportunity. And what I like to tell you guys, because you're online students, is I went to school for my master's degree online at Savannah College of Art and Design. So I was there as an online student, as a design online student as well. So I like to say that because I can relate to what you guys are going through. It is different taking an online class, especially design. There's pros and cons to everything, but it is definitely different. So to have that experience as an instructor, I think is good because I can hopefully foresee any issues and help you guys out going forward for different challenges that may, be present or come up. So I really have been teaching in higher education for 8 years. I've been working as a designer for 20 plus years, and I still do freelance. I kind of equal out the practice and the teaching, which is great. I do have one 6-year-old daughter, Amelia, and she definitely keeps me on my toes. And I also have a wiener dog named Santino. So he also is kind of like it's like my fur baby. So I got lots going on here, just balancing everything, but I love what I do. I love teaching, and you guys really inspire me, and fuel me going forward to learn and grow as well. All right, so we have Craig Stokes here, and Craig is your lab instructor for this class, and he's kind of like my wingman, I like to say, because if you have an issue or if you need extra help and I cannot help you at that time, reach out to me. But if I am not available, this is the person to go to as well. We also have a learning coach and other resources as well. But Craig is also here to really help you guys, if you're struggling, like I said, if I am unavailable, this is the person to go to, my wingman. So Craig, I don't know if you want to go ahead and share a little bit about yourself. If you want to, I'm going to mute my mic and you can go ahead and introduce yourself.
I'll take a few seconds here. So, yeah, my name's Craig Stokes, and as April said, I'm going to be your lab instructor. Interesting fact here that, April said she had 20 plus years. So between the two of us, we're providing you with over 50 years of real world experience. I have a lot of similarities to April's background. I worked in the publishing industry for 15 plus years as a creative director for a publishing house that we did magazines that were, well, they would either be monthly, bi-monthly, quarterly, throughout the United States to trade associations like the banking industries in different states, or not the banking industry, but the banking industry throughout different states. We had automotive associations, some medical associations. So, well, that kept us really busy. So I could say that I probably couldn't even count how many magazines that I have. It's got to be 3,000 plus magazines, annual reports, etc., that I have put my name to throughout that time. I have some freelance experience through ad agencies. I have extensive, more than I can count, packaging experience for packaging design. So that's just my kind of in a nutshell. I won't go more into what I've got, but that just kind of rounds out my experience. But again, I am here to help you. This is my week 1 schedule that April's got available right here. It's going to change. This is just because week 1's kind of a shorter week. Beginning at week 2, I will have where you can actually book an appointment with me if necessary. Please watch. I understand if you can't attend the live sessions, but please watch the recordings. That they are so valuable, especially, April's got some really cool stuff for y'all. So, but again, I'm just here for that, that extra assistance to push you over the line, give you, whatever you need, short of doing the assignment for you. But I'll also have some short videos for y'all. I would encourage y'all to check the course announcements. You'll get emails from me on a regular basis. So please check those. Always check your emails. So also on my contact information, if you reach out to me and you want to call me by phone, hey, that's great. But if I'm unavailable, please follow that up with an email. We're all trying to start teaching you about best practices. You would do that in the real world. If you were dealing with a client and you could not get them on the phone, you would follow that up with an email. So, or else you've got my texting number there. So please don't confuse those and text to my office number, but my texting number is there, so you can text me. Texting, you'll probably get me faster on a text as you would on the phone, but you've got 3 ways to get me, and utilize them all. And I'm very quick to respond back to you. So that's pretty much it. I look forward to helping y'all out, and y'all have a great day.
All right, thanks, Craig. Yeah, that's
okay.
Great. You're my wingman.
All right, I'm out of here.
All right, thanks, Craig. All right, so yeah, lean on Craig. Definitely have a lot of resources. And this is actually an announcement. So if you guys didn't get to check this out yet, he had posted in the announcements his schedule for week 1. So that's his schedule, his Zoom room. I also posted a little intro here I have a little recording and a little kind of an overview of what we're going to be doing. So this is kind of how, well, this is not kinda, this is how I communicate with you guys as well. Here's the learning coach. This is separate from Craig. So if you need extra, like I said, there's additional resources here as well. But this is how I reach out to you as well and communicate. So check in with the announcements. Just in case we post, little videos and helpful information as well there. Now, also in live sessions, just to kind of give you an idea, I have a crazy schedule. So I have to break up my days here during the week. So week 1 and week 3, we will be meeting on Tuesdays. These are the times, just remember and set the date on your calendar. And then week 2 and 4, it's going to change to Mondays. Same time, just a different day, week 2 and 4. So just kind of keep that in mind. Here is the multi-session, you know, if you're needing extra help and you want to come into a multi-session, you can click here for the multi-session link. Just make an appointment there. And then also don't forget, each week down here, I will be posting this recording once we're done, but there are required every week pre-recorded sessions that you need to watch as well. And these are all little smaller chunked videos. So these are about 20 some minutes. I think the last one's about 53. It's a little longer. But definitely check in there as well, as this recording is going to be posted there. Okay. And then if you are flustered and you don't know how to get to me, this is actually in the home section here. If you go about the instructor, this is my contact information here as well. That's where you'll find that. Don't forget your syllabus. I know this is a little different on my end because I'm viewing it as an instructor, so I have more buttons than you do, but just kind of give you an overview of that's where you would find things. Again, Shark Resources and Student Success Center, those are all things that you can take advantage of as a student as well for your resources. All right, so what are we gonna do today? We're just gonna go over a course overview, what this, you know, what you guys will be learning in this course, as well as week 1, class expectations, what to do if you can't meet a deadline, and then we'll go into your week 1 learning objectives and your discussion. You guys are gonna have 2 discussions every week to participate in. We're also going to be talking about file storage, computer performance, all that good stuff. Cloud storage, what is it and why use it? Popular cloud storage and computer maintenance. Let's get started here. Lots of stuff. Why do we go over the course objectives? Well, because this is basically what you're going to be walking away from learning in this class. And these are going to be in the next 4 weeks. So you're going to be able to understand and utilize proper file organization and file storage methods. Maybe you already do, but you know, we could offer more information, maybe something that you weren't aware of. Understand and utilize digital tools used in visual communication. Implement effective time management and design workflow practices to meet deadlines in a timely manner, very important. Understand and utilize proper computer maintenance practices. So there's some things that we can help solidify your foundation as a student into being a designer, to get those best practices going. So what's going on this week? Here's this little wiener dog here. He's saying hello. So this week, you guys are going to be walking away from learning backup options. Like I said, identify the capabilities of cloud-based versus external hard drive backups and storage systems. How many of you are actually using cloud-based external right now? Just type in there. Jeff? Okay, good. Are you also using externals too? Not you, okay. External hard drives, and some of you guys might not understand what that is yet, but we can definitely review that. Not you? Okay. I use external hard drives, okay. Okay, great. Cloud, not externals. All right, so we'll go into that here, good. I think that's one of my preferred, that's definitely my preferred method of backups. You don't know? Okay, that's okay. My preferred is the cloud backup for sure. So we're gonna help you kind of try to get you guys into a good, you know, best practices for file organization. You know, that's super important because if your files are everywhere, and I've seen it before, and I'm not just saying students, I'm saying when I worked in other places, I've witnessed other designers like really bad organizational skills, and then it just makes your job so much harder because you're trying to find everything and you lose stuff. It's your first time using. Okay, good. So we'll go over that. We're going to discuss the strategic backup, systems backup and computer maintenance, what leads to hardware and software longevity, navigate industry standard hardware to enact effective system maintenance and system backup practices. And we're going to discuss how utilizing cloud storage to save work can optimize computer performance. And a lot of this we'll be doing and also discussing in the discussions this week. Okay, so that's kind of just a little overview there. So class expectations, in order to really successfully complete any type of class here, but especially this one, you want, number one is to just communicate with me. If you're having one of those days, and believe me, I had the last 2 days have been crazy here with holiday weekend, you know, balancing the kid and balancing work and life. So communicate with me. I can be flexible with you more so if you are communicative with me, if you're having issues with time management, for instance. Number two, turn your work in on time. I should say your, you know, obviously that's a no-brainer. We can always resubmit if, you know, it's not what is needed. Again, I want to see that you're working and that you're participating. Participating in discussions. This is big because, you know, it's so funny because when I was an online student, I thought when we had to do discussions, we had to do it as well. I thought, oh, this is like, this is going to be a big waste of time. You know, why am I doing this? This is kind of a waste. But you know what? When I graduated, right before I graduated as an online graduate student, I look back and I said, geez, I really had a totally different view of what discussions were. I didn't think I was going to learn anything. I thought it was going to be a waste of time, but actually that was where I learned the most. And I think it's because it's what you make of it. So I had other students in my discussion that really put their all into it to see different perspectives. So it made the experience like so much better and so much more effective. So the more that you put into it, you know, everybody will benefit. So, and you'll learn so many different perspectives if you guys do it in a way that's engaging and, you know, substantial in that regards. So participate in the discussions, learn something every week. You know, this is something in life too, as just a person, just learning, keeping that open awareness of new things that are out there, new techniques in what we're doing as well here, and just have fun. You know, this is where you should be when you look back. Like, I miss going to school. I know there's certain things that are stressful, but I miss that whole like experimentation. You know, hey, I'm here to experiment and learn new things. So enjoy it, have fun. Yes, backup is so much easier than 20 years ago. I agree. So, and we'll talk about that too. So what to do if you can't meet a deadline, just email me before you miss the deadline, or your lab instructor. Let us know what's going on. Your email must include the following: your reason for missing the deadline, and when you will be turning in the assignment or assessment into me. You must have an exact day and time. That way we can, you know, follow up and we can see that you're actually working on it and you have an end goal. All right, so that's pretty much, you know, hopefully pretty familiar to you guys on, you know, what to do in terms of communicating and, you know, being present in the discussions, just things that you guys need to do. Okay, so you guys kind of already put in here where you're from. I think somebody else, Sterling, you just logged in here. So let me know where you're actually living right now. Introduce yourself. We have one, I think we have Gregory. Gregory, you're in Virginia, right? And Jeff is Illinois. Other way around? Okay. Jeff, you are in Virginia? Okay. Yay. All right. Sterling, Colorado. Okay. Greg, you are in Illinois. Okay. Gotcha. Yes. It's been like a crazy morning here. So we just had finals and all that good stuff going on. So my mind is a little mushy right now. All right. Yeah. So I'm from Pittsburgh. I grew up here in Pittsburgh, PA, but welcome you guys. It's really cool to see where everybody is. I had one person, I think it was last mod. No, it was 2 mods ago, because I was helping grade a class in DES099, and they were actually 30 minutes away from me. So that's kind of cool. That usually doesn't happen. So. All right, so we're just going to go over some things in regards to computer maintenance going forward here. We're going to talk about cloud-based storage. So great to have you guys here. Like I said, welcome. You know, it's just really interesting to see where everybody's coming from, and that we're all coming together for this class. So very cool. All right, so we're going to talk about researching computer maintenance. So let's get this started here. We're going to talk about these 3 scenarios. You don't really have to pick a scenario, but we're just going to talk about how to keep your hardware and software healthy, things to kind of be more aware of. And we're going to do this by looking at these scenarios here. Sandy, James, and Letitia. So let's go over to scenario 1, which is Sandy. So Sandy's having a problem. She saves her files to her desktop. How many of you guys do that? Save your files to your desktop. I mean, and don't move them to the point where she cannot see anything because she has so many that overlap each other. You do? Okay. So this is where we identify and we acknowledge what we're doing, and then we change it, right? She doesn't know where else to save her files. You know, you don't know what you don't know. So that's why you're here. And her computer keeps freezing. So how can you help Sandy? Why is this making her computer freeze up? Can you guys take any guess? No, making her. And where should she save her files? What would your suggestions be? Everybody's quiet. We need more coffee. Jeff says cluttered desktop takes up system resources. Good. Onto a flash drive. Yeah, that could be good. Yeah, definitely. Like, when she has all those files on her desktop, it's slowing down her computer. It's making it harder to, it's like, kind of just overworking it. Where should she save her files? Gregory said flash drive, that's an option. Should there be an organization in this new spot, do you think? Or should she just throw her files in there onto the flash drive? Sterling, I save them to my computer hard drive, and I like to save things to Google Docs. Good. Yep, that's a good method. Yes, organize it. Yes, there's an organization, so make folders, right? Depends on how she organizes or what she is doing. Yes, it's all relative. Yep. It doesn't say what she's actually doing, but if she's a student, for instance, she should be making maybe folders where she can save that. Good. All right, so we kind of got that. You guys are good with that. All right, how about scenario 2 with James? So James downloaded over 1,000 new fonts. His programs take forever to open, like Word or Illustrator. He doesn't know why his computer is not working properly. Can you guys say why that, why is this making his programs open slowly? Why do you guys think that? What should he do to fix this problem? Depends on how she organizes or what she's doing. The program tries to make all of those available by default when it opens. Yep, Jeff, yeah. So it depends on what she's doing too. Yes, so having too many fonts will slow the boot process down. Yes, yep. So as fonts are downloaded, downloaded onto the computer, into the memory, it's taking up the memory. But you also notice that too many fonts in other situations as well. For example, applications like word processors might take an unusually long time to start up. So, kind of deleting some that you're not using is a definite, yep, you're right. What other options does he have for fonts that will not slow his computer down? What do you guys think? Yep, archive them. I know I use delete those he doesn't need. Yep, and there's other options with fonts too. Under your Apple Cloud, you have font options as well there. And these fonts, I'm gonna have to log in here, I don't want to see. They're Adobe fonts, and there are ways to, and let me share my screen so you guys can see. If you go to your cloud and you hit fonts, you can browse the fonts here, Adobe fonts. And what's nice is you could just download a font family and it goes to your cloud and it's not used specifically right into your suitcase, which is on your computer. So that's another way. And now I'm gonna have to share my other screen here, hold on. That's another way to go about it if, sorry guys, I'm trying to get back to my, I got so many things open here. All right. That's another way to do it. So there's definitely ways to be more efficient and to work things a little bit better there. Good. All right, and then there's scenario 3. Letatia's trash can is super full. She is afraid if she empties the trash can, she might need one of the files later. And she keeps getting a hard drive almost full error message. Why is this practice causing an error message? Why do you guys think that? And what should she do to fix it? The files in the trash still take up space. Exactly. A lot of people don't realize that, Jeff. Good. Yes. So what should you do? It's kind of like, yeah, it's full. Clean out those files. Yep. So your disk is almost full. And this is really bad news for any device. You know, a hard drive should never get beyond 85% capacity, and especially a startup disk. So as you will experience you'll experience slowness in that regards and errors that further get you to the above mark. So if you get this, your startup disk is full error, it's really, you know, it's an important message. It's a serious indication that you might need to free up some storage immediately. And so you can delete files from your Mac. You can go file, delete trash, move files to the external or cloud storage, for example. But one of the ways, yeah, that she's having an issue here is with the trash. A lot of people don't realize that if you're trashing, you're putting it in the trash doesn't mean that it's actually trashed. So just kind of get to that. It's kind of like right before you're ready to trash, it kind of gives you that second chance. So let me show you here. I'm going to share my desktop. So up here, and I think I have, yeah, I have trash in here actually. So I have trash. Here's my trash. I clicked on it. And if I go up to my Finder and I choose empty trash, it'll ask me, are you sure you want to do this? It'll permanently erase it. And if I know that I don't need it, just hit empty trash. And that's going to free up your, you know, memory, because it's still, when it's in the trash, it's still, you know, using up space on your computer. All right. So those are great. So what other options does she have to keep her files, but keep freeing up her hard drive space? And I think you guys said it before. There's the external hard drive or the flash drive. There's also the cloud storage, which we'll talk about in a second here. So yeah, so just think about those things when you're going forward. How can you free up space? How can you make your computer run smoother? So keeping your computer hardware and software healthy, at least 15% of your hard drive space needs to be free. You can empty your trash can regularly. A cluttered desktop makes things disorganized and hard to find, but it can also slow computers down. You can see that on my desktop, there was a few folders, but for the most part, I like to save mine on my hard drive or my external or my cloud drive. I have it everywhere. Having too many, should have two zeros or 2 O's on that. Having too many open browser tabs can slow down your computer as well. So, and also if you have all of your software open at one time, that's also something that can slow your computer down as well. Yeah. I've seen that when I did tech support. It's delete files. Yep. I'm going to share my desktop here real quick. Just a little, see, I have some folders that are temporarily here, but if you go up to the go on your menu and you go to your hard drive, mine is just the home, looks like a little house. This is where your hard drive is, and I name mine my name. You can save it in documents. Typically that's where, you know, people do save stuff, or wherever. I have a ton of stuff in here, but you can create a folder and, you know, be organized with that. Now, don't forget, in your Finder, you can find things in 4 different folders, 4 different ways. If you go to your, now you can view it in your icon, you can view it as a list, or you can view it in your columns. But there's always 4 different ways that you can view things in the Finder, okay? So that's how you, that's just a viewing preference up here when you want to cascade your files. Yeah, so your trash is up here. Mine's already emptied. Don't forget to, your system preferences is kind of going off of the topic here. If you go to your Apple, if you have an Apple that you're working on, your system preferences is key to being proficient as well as a designer. You can kind of set different preferences in here to, you know, kind of ease your work, you know, it helps you keep you organized in certain ways, but it's your preferences. So it's what you set it up. Now there's a time machine option. Has anybody ever tried the time machine option before on your Mac? This is another backing up. When we talk about backing up, we're talking about saving your files. The time machine is in your system preferences. Now, I just got this computer. My computer is fairly new, so I have not set this up here. Okay, so the time machine, and I don't have it set up, I'm gonna click on it, is a way to select your backup disk on your computer, and you could do automatic backups. So it's kind of like, it does hourly backups, so you can see here what it does. So it's local snapshots, so space permits, okay. Hourly backups for the past 24 hours. Daily backups for the past month, and weekly backups for all previous months. Okay, yeah, so this is an option for Macs. So you could definitely set this up, and I have to do so. I have to do a couple things on my computer before I do that. But you do have options. You can, you know, you can select different, you can exclude things to back up, for example. But this is nice because if something were to happen to your hard drive, if you have your time machine set up and you say you get a go take to tech support and they have your Apple ID, they are able to tap into that. So you have your backup. It's kind of like an external in a way. So that's another option there if you have a Mac. Oops. Oh. So hold on 1 second. Let me get my chat up here. So time machine on a Mac, and I'm not quite sure what the equivalent was on a PC, so I apologize. So it's basically like a backup disk. Okay, so next, it's an external storage device. You were asking if it was a cloud, but it's like kind of like an external connected to your Mac. Okay, so you can set, this is kind of just telling you the steps now. I didn't go forward to this, but you can set it so that your external hard drive is backed up regularly. So you can do your photos, your music. Yes. So like a plug. Yep, and then it sets up automatic, like backups. Yep. All right, so that's an option. That's one of the things I wanted to show you guys for that as well. Okay, there you go. Yeah, I'm not on a PC, so it's hard for me to, but that's good to know that there are Yes. There's also cloud storage. So what is it and why use it? Does anybody know what cloud storage is? It seems like some of you guys are already using it. So that's good. Have you ever heard, what's an example of cloud storage? Could you give me an example of maybe something that you've used? Or are using? I know I'm using a couple right now. Did you ever hear of Dropbox? Or Google Documents? Google Storage, yep. Yep, so that's all cloud storage. So cloud storage is the name, but there's different providers that you can go with. So cloud storage involves basically stashing data on hardware in a remote physical location, which you can access from any device if you have the internet. Yep, exactly, good. So clients can send files to a data server maintained by a cloud provider instead of, or as well as storing it on their own hard drive. Okay. So cloud, we're just talking about cloud-based options. So cloud-based backup involves using the internet to send a copy of your data to an offsite server. Some cloud-based backup options are free, while others are fee-based. Free options tend to give you less storage overall, while fee-based options tend to give you more space. I know I've almost exceeded my Dropbox, and they'll give you like a pop-up that says, you're almost out of space. Do you want to upgrade? And then it'll give you like a fee. So some of them you can, or you could just delete what's on there, you know, if you don't need it, to open up more space, or you can pay monthly for additional space. So when using a cloud-based backup device, you can either manually click and drag files and backup as needed, or you can schedule your computer to back itself up on certain days or times. So cloud-based options are really great for people that want to access their files from different places. If you're at home, you can use a desktop computer to access your cloud storage. But if you're away on vacation, you can still access that same cloud-based information from a mobile device, for instance. And this is very convenient for people that are constantly on the go and need flexibility in accessing their information. Occupations that could benefit from this type of flexibility could include like real estate agents, pilots, professional photographers, international business consultants, designers. I know I use this as my preferred way to back up and save my files, because I have two different machines that I use, actually 3 different devices, and I'm always on the move. So it's kind of nice to have that flexibility. So you can share your files with cloud-based storage. You can free up disk drive space. This is kind of the pros to why you would use it. You can back up your files, and you can access your files from anywhere on the device. And here are some examples, and somebody mentioned Google Drive and Dropbox. Oh, excuse me. Google Drive has 15 gigabytes of space, free storage space. Access to Google One apps is another pro for that. And then it syncs with Google Hangouts and Meets. Dropbox is another cloud storage that you can download for free as well. So you get 2 gigabytes of free storage space there. Block syncing for backup, share files with anyone as well there. And sometimes I actually had students use this for last mod for the same class, the DGD101, who either they got locked out of the class because it was just at that midnight time frame that they had to submit, or their files were too big. So I said, just Dropbox it and send me a link, which is very easy. Yep, right. You're correct, Jeff. Creative Cloud is another one. It has 15 gigabytes of free storage space, access to Google One apps, and syncs with Google Hangouts and Meets. So that's kind of the pros. And think about that, because we're going to be discussing the pros and cons of that in discussion. So keeping your hardware and software healthy, we just talked about different ways to back up. And let me add to this too, because I know somebody mentioned in here the 20 years ago is totally different, and that's true. When I worked for an ad agency way back when in Akron, Ohio, we had to do backups, or that's how they did backups, were doing it on a tape where it would back up every day on this like little, I don't even know what it was called. It was like a little tape. And that little tape was like a little cassette tape, smaller than a regular one. We would take home, we would actually take turns taking home with us every night, because they were so concerned about, you know, what if, because it was a little studio in the woods, what if the place caught on fire? We wouldn't have any access to our files, our clients' files. So that was a way for them to, and that was before we had cloud storage. That was a way that we could protect our data. Tape drive sucked. Yep. And it was the process of, okay, did it actually back up today? And we had to take turns taking the tapes home, and yeah, so I'm dating myself here, but that's what we had to do. And as a design student, we were always told, because we didn't have the option of the cloud-based, we were told to use a thumb drive, flash drive. Back then, it was a zip, what was it called? A zip file, or no, a zip disk. It was a zip disk, which was held like 1 megabyte of space. But we were also told to email your work to yourself, so that if something were to happen, you have it in the floppy disk. Yep. I grew up, when I was 7, I had a Apple IIc computer, and that was the dot matrix days. Those floppy disks. All right. Now that you know that I'm really old, there you go. That's nice. Yep. The black screen and the green type. Very good. Yep. All right. So let's talk about keeping your computer hardware and software healthy. Keep your computer application up to date. We all kind of know about that, right? So hopefully checking in to make sure that you do have that. If you're on a Windows, you can go to your settings, update and security. You know, obviously I'm on a Mac, so I can't show you that on my end. You can also go to the help, check for updates or options, and that checks for updates as well for your computer. Make sure everything is up to date. Creative Cloud desktop apps are also accessible, where you can check for updates. And that is basically, and I'll show you here in a second. Let me share my screen. Share my screen. Up here, you know, the little cloud favicon, you can click on that and go to updates. And this is where you would check for updates on your cloud. And if you need anything, usually there's like a little red dot that'll say updates. And then when you go to updates, it'll say need to be updated. And then you click on there. I'm all good here, so I don't have to do that. But another way to check on a Mac for updates, if you go to your system preferences, and actually, no, not your system preferences. Sorry, go to Mac, go to About This Mac. I knew I was doing that wrong. About This Mac, and go to your, and this is where you can see your storage, by the way. If you go to your overview, you can see here a software update. You can click on that and see if you have any updates that need to be done. Mine is up to date. I have mine kind of automatically checked here. So that's another way that you can keep your system up to date automatically without having to worry about it if you're on a Mac. Okay. All right. Oh, okay. Which you want me to show, the cloud or the system preferences? The cloud is up here. Okay. If you don't have the little cloud favicon showing, okay, that just means that you need to download the app onto your computer. But all of you should have that, hopefully. Okay. Backing up your data regularly, settings, update, and security. We looked at that. What you clicked. Oh, okay. Did you get that though, Jeff? Okay. Delete unnecessary files and programs using disk cleanup. And there's a way to do that. Again, on your PC, you can right click on your C drive. And I don't have this to show you, but this would be the process. If you were on a PC, you can choose properties and then disk cleanup. You can also perform Windows maintenance scans. You can right click on your C drive, choose properties, tools tab, error checking. There's optimize and defragment drive as well. Click on your C drive, choose properties, tools, tabs, and optimize. Okay, check your startup list. Too many programs, apps that start when your computer does will slow it down. Open Task Manager, click Startup tab, display the programs you do not need to start automatically. I think on a Mac here, you could do the same as just you would go up to your Finder window. Yes. Typically what you want to do is just kind of close out of your programs the way that you traditionally would, so you're not losing any work. Okay, backup on a Mac. Again, the time machine I just showed you, it's the built-in backup feature of your Mac. It's complete backup solution, but you can use other backup methods as well. Clean your computer. How many of you drink and eat right next to your computer? Maybe don't really want to admit to it, right? So the number one way to take care of your computer hardware is to never eat or drink at your computer, right? Yep. Yep. That's just kind of like, okay, common sense. But then when you get around, I mean, I don't know, I am a professional. I've been doing this for 20 years and I've had scary times when something spilled. So just kind of make sure that you're keeping your computer in a safe spot. Monitor cleaning, key cleaning and blowing out your keyboard, getting that like air blowout from like Staples or wherever, and you can blow out your keyboard, keeping it clean of everything. Because it is kind of crazy how all that kind of, I mean, think about it. You're touching it every day, you know, with your hands. I probably need to do this now. I actually just bought cleaning spray. It's a special cleaning spray for Macs that you can do that. And it's just kind of healthier, you know, keeps you healthier because you're not retouching that same surface with dirty hands. Yes, it's nasty. All right, any questions about what we went over so far? I know we kind of just touched upon some things about keeping your hardware and software in check. Do you have any questions on what we went over so far? How do you guys remember? And now there's going to be a lecture quiz, by the way. Do you guys remember how many ways to display content in your Finder? Do you remember how many ways I told you? Just kind of a little FYI, what will be on the quiz? How many ways? Would it be 2, 3, 4, 5? How many ways did I say? There's 4. There's 4 ways to display content in your Finder. So just kind of an FYI there. Okay. And let's see, I'm going to make sure I'm touching upon everything. Oh, Corey, you know, which of the following, what did I say is your key to your productivity as a designer? Do you remember me saying that? Would it be your Finder, the doc, My Documents, or System Preferences? It's kind of a little review here. Yep, System Preferences, good. What is my preferred way of backing up storage? Do you remember what I said? Do I do it externally? What's my preferred way? Flash drive or cloud? Yep, cloud, exactly. Good. And then the number one thing to make sure you take care of your computer. What is the number one way to take care of it? Never to eat or drink at your computer, right? Okay, so I kind of basically just reviewed what's on your lecture quiz. All right, let's go into your discussion one. I will not read over all of this, so don't think that I'm going to read word for word everything here. Just go ahead and read through the career relevancy on your own, the background information, which is kind of what we went over with different backup and hardware things to kind of be aware of to do so that you're keeping your computer up to date. I am going to read the prompt though. There is a little short video here to check out as well. And then let me know if you have any questions. So in this discussion, we will talk about strategies for keeping your computer hardware and software healthy. Conduct research, system backups, and computer maintenance strategies that are considered best practices. Identify any habits that you developed with your computer maintenance that may be deemed as a habit. What habits do you think designers can develop, and which of these do you think could turn into a negative habit for them? When you respond to your peers, consider questioning one another on whether the habits they are keeping or willing to change would offer the opposite outcome they expect or may not work in a work environment. Explain your reasoning. For your citation, you might use articles that show examples of ways to keep your software healthy. You can also find articles from experts that suggest ways to deal with resolutions in real-life situations for computer maintenance. Don't forget, and I'm not going to read through all of this, just to kind of make sure you're hitting upon the reply requirements. Your main post should have a citation, for example, and make sure you're doing it properly. I started the discussion here, so you can definitely read my little blurb here before going on. Does anybody have any questions about that? I think maybe showing some, oh, got some alerts here, some ways that could be a negative habit that designers do could be kind of an interesting topic to look into. But, you know, look at it from all sides. And when you're responding to your peers, make sure that you're, you know, giving them some suggestions. Maybe they didn't touch upon something, or maybe you're questioning them about something that they posted. Instead of saying, oh, I think you did a great job, I agree with what you're saying. Dig a little deeper, you know, keep it obviously career relevant. Any questions about that? We kind of talked about some of these strategies too, so I don't want to, you know, go into that anymore because we kind of touched upon some of those. Be specific. Don't feel like you can't post pictures and examples too. So we're good with discussion one. Don't forget that there is another discussion here. So discussion two, let's take a look at that one. If you guys don't have any questions, you're quiet, so I'm going to just move on here. We're going to be discussing cloud-based storage here, and we kind of touched upon that as well today. So go ahead and read through the career relevancy, your background information. There's a little video here, a little short video. You can, I think it's 3 minutes long. Oh, okay, that's a good way to do it. Go ahead and take, you know, watch that 3-minute video. And then in this prompt for this discussion, imagine that you're attending a design club where you meet a student nearing the end of their bachelor's degree. When you tell them you are new to the program, they remark that they are jealous of your new computer. Their computer, which is a few years older and has all their design files saved on it, is getting slow. They are pretty sure they will need a new one, but cannot afford it. Consider what you would discuss with the student as far as options for increased computer performance. In your opinion, do you think cloud storage would be the best option for anyone having problems with their computer? If so, why and why not? What options do you think could be just as good or even better? When responding to other students, consider how you can learn more about best practices to support file storage and computer performance. Think about how you can ask questions and challenge one another to learn more about file storage preferences. In addition, consider sharing your own experience with computer performance and any tips that you might have. This might be great because it's kind of giving your experience in there. For your citation, you might use articles that show examples of company services and cloud storage options. You can also find articles from experts that suggest ways to improve the efficiency and effectiveness of your computer and its storage options. Like for instance, if you're on a PC, you might have ways that you do it on your computer that you might want to share with your fellow peers. Or even a Mac, doesn't matter. All right, again, make sure you're following the reply requirements for all of this. And again, I kind of started the discussion so you guys can maybe have a little bit of a deeper understanding of how to look at this and how to answer this. So definitely read through my post before answering. Any questions about that? That's pretty self-explanatory, right? We kind of went over some of those that we touched upon. Okay, I'm going to take that as you guys don't have any questions. All right, now that we're kind of getting to our assignment and our assessment, which I don't know why I have the assignment here. No, I have the assessment first. Why don't we go ahead and take a 5-minute break? And then after the break is over, I'll review your assignment 1 as well as your assessment 1. And we'll go from there. Does that sound good? Go ahead and grab some lunch, some more coffee and sugar or whatever. I'm going to be drinking some ketones on my end so I can get some energy. And I'll be back here in 5 minutes. Okay, can you guys hear me? Oh, Jeff, you're fine. No, I'd rather have you talk than not talk. You're good to go. All right. Okay. Yeah, don't feel bad. It's we're here to communicate, right? Okay. Let's go ahead and take a look at your assignment 1. I think you guys are really going to enjoy this. Has anybody ever worked in PowerPoint before? 2 months ago? Okay. Very good. So you're ready to go. All right. So basically what we're going to be doing for this assignment 1, did anybody get started on this yet? 3 months ago? Okay. That's pretty easy. I don't think anybody started it yet, and that's okay. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing like a presentation about system backup options. We talked about some options, and in your background here, you can definitely read through here. It talks about cloud-based options that we talked about, external backup options. External hard drives are like I use, let me see. I'll show you guys the next live lecture because I think it's upstairs in my office. I have external hard drives that I can show you that I use. And they basically plug into my computer and I can just back it up, any files that I have there externally. Just like the cloud-based options, the only pro to that would be there's pros and cons about both. So when you're talking about cloud-based storage, you need internet in order to access it. So if you don't have internet, that's a con, right? But you can access it anywhere without having an actual external hard drive. So that's a pro. Now, external hard drive is great because you don't need the internet. You have the external hard drive that you plug in your computer. So that's the pro of that. So it just kind of talks about both options, and it's relative to what you're using it for, based on the pros and cons of each. So go ahead and read through here. There's a little 7-minute video you can check out talking about how to back up your computer. And then I'm going to go all the way down here to the prompt. Okay, so it looks like a lot, but I think you guys, once you get into it, you'll see how easy it's going to flow. So in this assignment, you'll be creating a PowerPoint presentation in either a Microsoft Word written script or an audio narration analyzing system backup options. So you can choose either or. Your presentation and script need to address the following questions. So basically think of it as 12 different slides that you're going to do your presentation with each of these questions. So the first one is, what does it mean to back up your system? You know, and you can provide a citation in that. I would keep it simple, maybe in your own words. So that would be slide 1. So, and then the second slide could be, why is backing up a good idea? You know, what are the pros? What could happen if you do not back up your system? Slide number 3, what is a cloud-based backup device? You can explain it in general and then maybe even show, well, actually you will be showing examples on slide 7. How does it work? And they're talking about cloud-based on slide 4. Slide 5, what are the positives for a cloud-based backup device? And then what are the negatives for slide 6? And again, number 7 is, you know, the examples of some of those. And you can show the logo of a certain brand. Slide number 8, what is an external backup device and how does it work? Number 9, what are positives of it? What are the negatives? Slide 10. Slide 11, what are some examples? And slide 12, moving forward as a student, how will you back up your computer? Okay. So those are 12 slides. So your presentation assignment requirements, minimum 12 slides. You can have more, but that's the minimum, including an opening title slide with your name and presentation title and closing reference slide. So at the end of your, you know, you can add additional slide 13. Actually, you could have 14 slides too, because you can add the reference and then the title slide. You may choose a pre-made template or work from a blank presentation. Implement slide design best practices you have learned in previous classes and address all questions in the prompt. So best slide practices are what? Probably not putting a ton of copy on one slide, right? Making it so it's readable. There you go, 3 points per slide, good. Your written script. So the presentation of your PowerPoint is one part of this. You can now, second part is your written script or audio narration. What helps with this, and there's a script, I think, let me see here. Okay, no, there's not a script here. Let me see here. I actually have a written script up here. I just created a word slide and I'll show you here in a second of what my script looks like. Here it is. And what I did, I just went and opened up Word and I should be changed to May 26th, right? There we go. And put the name of our class, my name, the date, script. And what's nice about this, if you decide to do the narration, you can use this, in the background to talk from. So what you can do here is just answer each question that's in your prompt. So you can just post these questions in here. Are the Microsoft Office apps available to use on a Mac? Yes, and I use them all the time. I have Excel, I have Word. If you don't have Word, you can use, what else is there? Not Notes. Is it Notes? Keynotes. You use Keynotes. See where my launcher is here. What's similar? Pages. That's what it is. Pages is similar to Word. Google Docs. Yep, you do that too. Yep. Okay. Yeah, so if you don't have Word, Google Docs, you can use your Pages. Pages in, if you have a Mac, Open Office, yeah. Yep. All right, so when you go to your PowerPoint, let me open up PowerPoint here and stop sharing. Share my PowerPoint. I just opened up one that I found in here so you can see this is just this one that I found. But if you open up PowerPoint, I'm going to share my whole desktop here because I think you can't see my top part here. Hold on. My menu. There we go. Now you can see my menu. Okay, so if you just open up PowerPoint, you can just do File, New Presentation. And you can go through here. Mine might look different than yours, but you can see that there's different design ideas here. So if you wanted to peruse through here, you can do that. There's also different design templates up here. If you hit design templates, you can choose that as well. Okay, so you can peruse through there. I don't know, show, okay. So you can do that. Yeah, so basically what you would do is just do like assignment 1, DGD101. I'm going to do a option 8 for a little dot. And then do May 26, dot, and my name, if I can. So that would be your title slide. The second slide, you can change, let's see, design ideas to the right here. You can change this based on some of the design ideas over here. So what I would do is just kind of reference the questions that are being asked of you through the prompt. So the first one would be, what does it mean to back up your system? So then you can answer that. And I think I have mine in a prompt here. Hold on. In your own words, and do it so it's a little, I actually have a really long quote here, which you could use on your script and in your audio if you want to, but not necessarily on your slide. You can edit this down so that it's not so much on your slide. That means all of your important files should be backed up in order to last. Okay, I'm just going to keep it simple like that. But it shouldn't have a ton of information on it. Now, when you have your script, you can show more information in here, or your audio that you decide to read from, but keep it to the basic minimums on your slide. I mean, make sure you're answering it, but keeping it so it's not so packed full of information. Does that make sense? Hopefully that makes sense. So I have, let's see, open, recent. So maybe even doing the script would be good first, so that you have like an organized structure to be basing this off of. Let me grab I actually have one that's ready here. I think it's this one. Now I put the quote in here. I probably would use that, just a simple blurb there. But this could be an example of how you could do your slides again. And this is like a cooking show where it's like, I'm adding in the information here. So this would be slide 1, your question there would be answered. Slide 2, slide 3, or actually 4, because I had a title page in there. So it's basically adding in your questions, and then you're going to answer these. Now on my slide 6, I put the pros and cons on here. You can do it separately if you wanted to say a pro for slide 6 and then a con for slide 7, for example. You can do that as well. Just make sure you have 12 minimum slides. Okay, and then at the end, your reference can be listed. And you can do this listing the URL. I don't think it says anything about APA, following APA references. So you can go ahead and just list the URL that you've provided the citations from. And then what you can do, let me undo this, is, I just indicated it as, I put the citation in here. It's a very long quote. And then I did like a parentheses 1, so that on my reference slide, I know that this is the number 1 citation. And then you would do so for number 2, and then you could reference it on your reference page. Does that make sense? So let me show you an example of a student. I'll show you a student example so you can get a good idea. I don't know if I have this. Oh yeah, this is it here. Okay, so this is the student example. Let me go ahead and let me save this. Hold on. Stop. And okay. So you can see a little bit more clearly here. Okay, so this is, I believe they have the microphone set on here. So there's an audio recording to this. So this is an example of a student's PowerPoint presentation that was submitted last mod. So you can see kind of the answers added in here, showing the different types of cloud backup. And you can see the overall look of these slides go with what the subject is about too. That's an important thing to keep it, you know, consistent. It doesn't have to be tech related. You could have it a little bit more abstract too. It's completely fine. I'd be fine with that. But at least you can see, you know, what another student has done so that you kind of get a good idea. I don't know. They did like a recording on this. I don't have the microphone on here. Negative side, external hard drive. I'm just going to peruse through the end of this here. The only thing that the student didn't add on here was a reference at the very back. So just kind of an FYI there. So hopefully that kind of gives you a better understanding of what needs to be done. Does anybody have any questions about that? A reference slide is kind of what this is showing here. So what you're going to be doing is you're going to be doing your 12 minimum slides, okay, and a script and or audio session. Now, let me just tell you something that was happening to me last mod. I was having a heck of a time trying to get my audio to work. And I still don't have that figured out on my end. I'm not sure if it's something going on with my software, but the audio, if you want to try it, I do have instructions on how to do that. And I have a video as well. So I will post that to announcements so you guys have that. But basically, let me go back to my slides here. It should be as simple as just hitting the audio, but mine's not working. Okay, so I wanted to show you guys what my issue is, and if you have that same issue and you want to try this, I just wanted to show you what I'm dealing with here. So I'm looking off of this sheet you can see here, which is showing me how to do it, and I'm going to give this to you guys. So what you would do when you're ready to do the audio. All right, so there is actually some recorded. Oops. Record slideshow option here. Now this is showing a recording. I don't know if you guys can see that. Audio wise, I'm not sure if it's actually working. So when I was trying to get this to work, it wasn't working. What wasn't showing was this little recording drop-down menu when I was trying to record it. Let me try to pull this out here. Yes, it had to do something with, where's that recording option that I had? I don't usually do this every day, so that's why I'm kind of like, but the recording, it should show up here. And let me see here 1 second. Insert, draw, design, slideshow. Here we go, record from slideshow. So when I clicked on this, you're supposed to, and it's not doing this again, supposed to record it. You're supposed to have more of an option here, which shows record from the beginning, but I don't have that on mine. Let me see if I shift select all of these and do this. Record show. Let me test this out. I'm talking, talking, talking. Go to the next slide. Talking, talking, talking. We'll see if this actually works. La, 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 la. Okay, I'm gonna stop this. And I'm gonna hit play. Let's see, end show. Okay, so this is where I'm having issues because it's not actually saving them to my computer. So if you go through the instructions I'm going to give to you, you might make it work on your end. I'm not sure quite sure. I just uploaded Catalina to my computer, so I don't know if it's like a software issue on my end, but I couldn't get it to work last mod. And I did digging and research and I couldn't figure it out. But there should be a record button. I don't know if you guys can see this. And I'm going to post this again into announcements, but it should have a record button, which mine doesn't show. And then it should give you a countdown, and then you can start to record your voiceover narration. And you can pause the recording and all that good stuff. I am going to post this to announcements with this video that will help you guys. Hopefully it's not working on my end. I wanted to be completely transparent with you guys. It may not work on your end either, depending. I had some students that it worked with, some students they couldn't, it wasn't working. So if it doesn't work, all you have to do is submit the written script and you'll be fine, because the audio narration isn't something that needs to be done. It's an option, okay? I don't know if you guys can see that there. So it's an option. But when you're done, let me share my, I know I'm flipping through here like crazy. My apologies. But when you're done, you're going to save your presentation as a PowerPoint. So make sure when you save it, go up to File, Save, and make sure it's a PowerPoint. It should end in .pptx, and that's the file that you're going to upload. And then when you save your script, if it's in Word, you're going to save it as a docs file. If it's in Pages, it'll probably be a different file format, but you can download that or upload that as well. Any questions about that? And like I said, I'll post that, how to do the audio. It's a really, really quick, very informative video that I think will help you guys with how to do the narration part. So you'll find out whether you can or not right away. I'm not quite sure what's going on, why it won't work on my end. I even tried to turn on my microphone settings and all that good stuff, but it wasn't working, so. I think it was under, yeah, I had to look into my turning on my mic and testing and all that, but that didn't even help either. It's up to you, Gregory, if whatever works for you. It should be the same on a PC as it is on a Mac as far as the PowerPoint presentation goes. It might be, I don't know. If anybody has issues with the narration that are trying it, just let me know and see if, you know, I'm just curious. I've been trying to figure it out and I can't. There are other ways that you can narrate too, like you can, you know, you can actually record it in different ways, but I don't want to have you guys go through all of that. Yes, I need to, for sure. I brought it up to the lab instructor and she couldn't figure it out either, the last mod, so. All right. So assessment 2, or for assessment 1 for this class is going to be really easy. So let me go through how this kind of works. And this is get you guys in the mind of organization for your folders. And this is good because this will get you started for this class and how to stay organized with your folders. So read through the career relevancy. And it talks about using file folders to stay organized. For those of you who are using your desktop as a catch-all, you know, you definitely will be hopefully learning from this. So it talks about also the system backups to stay organized, has a little video in here. I'm going to read through the prompts. So in this assessment, you will set up a file folder structure for all of your 100 level courses. This file folder structure will keep you organized both in the course and in your future classes. In addition, you will set up a free cloud-based storage account and a backup schedule. This will ensure that you are regularly saving your work in multiple locations. This means if anything happens to your computer while you're a student, you will not lose any valuable portfolio projects. So this assessment has 4 parts to it. Be sure to do every part so you can get full credit. You can download a set of step-by-step instructions here or see them below. All right, so part 1, setting up your file folder structure. So you're gonna open up the Finder. Your Finder is up here on your window. Or I'm sorry, let me click on my desktop first. You're gonna click on your documents. You go to the Go on your menu if you're on a Mac. And you're gonna click on your Documents folder. Now, you might not have any document folders in here. I already kind of have some. Let me share my desktop here so you can see everything I'm doing. This is that folder. This is the document folder. And I have Adobe folder created, an April BIS folder, and a Zoom folder. You might not have anything, and that's fine. But just kind of know that this is what I see on my end. Okay, so then you're going to click on the Documents folder on the left side of the window. So we just did that. At the top of your screen, you're going to click on File, New Folder. So with that selected, and you can see it in here, I have mine set to the column view. You're going to go up to File, and you're going to go New Folder. That's going to create a new folder, and it's going to say Untitled. Okay, if you don't have a Documents folder, go onto your hard drive, which would be what, if you're on a PC, it'd be your C drive, correct? Just make sure it's not on your desktop. Okay. Yep, so if you're on a PC, you won't have a Documents folder per se, but you're gonna have your hard drive. So don't put it on your desktop, put it on your hard drive. Oh, okay. You're not like, you don't see it on your, okay, go up to Go, and you should see a Documents. You don't see that on yours? That's weird, because usually it's like a defaulted folder. Yeah, the Finder is kind of, yeah, it's all part of the menu up here. You go to Documents, okay. Then go File, New Folder. And then you're gonna, you can click and highlight this if it unselects, but you're gonna rename this. So you're gonna delete what's untitled folder, and you're gonna type in DGD101. And you can hit return to set it. And that, I'm on step 5 already. Step 6, double click on this folder to open it. Well, because I have it set to tiling, it's already open whenever I see it on this side. So it's showing that this is selected. Now you're gonna go again, when you're inside that folder, which should be empty, you're gonna go up to File, New Folder. This is step number 7. And you're gonna click on the file and rename it, step number 8. You're gonna delete the untitled folder, and you're gonna name this Week 1. So DGD folder Week 1. We're already step 9 here. You're gonna repeat this process 3 or more times with the new folder Week 2, Week 3, Week 4. File, New Folder, Week 2. File, New Folder, Week 3. So you're just basically creating these little subfolders inside your DGD101. Okay, DGD101 should be on your hard drive. Documents, if you have a Mac. Week 1, 2, 3, and 4 should be inside that folder. Any questions about that? We got this much to go too. Pretty easy, right? You're going to repeat these steps 3 to 10, 4 more times. So 3 to 10. 4 more times because you're going to create 4 other classes. And one of those is going to be DGD104. And the second one is 105. Third one is 106. And the fourth one is 140. So go back to your documents, file new folder, and we're going to do that. So DGD 105. And what I would suggest, go back to your DGD 101 if you want to do it really, save time. Select all of your week 1 to 4 folders in your DGD 101 by just clicking and dragging or shift select. Go up to your Finder and go File, edit, not File, edit, copy 4 items. Or you could do a Command C as a shortcut key. Go back to your DGD 105 and you can do a Command V or go back up to your edit and paste. And that's going to copy all of your 4 folders in that new folder. Okay. Create another folder on your hard drive, DGD 106. Oh, we didn't do 4. Let's do 4. I skipped 4 by accident, sorry. 104. And since I already have it on my clipboard, I just have to do Command V and it'll paste all of those folders in. See how easy that is? Command V. So we have 104, 105, DGD 106. With that folder selected, Command V or edit paste. And then one more, DGD 140. Okay, so you should see DGD 101, 4 folders, week 1 through 4, 104, same, 105, same, 106, same, and 140. When you have all 5 folders in your documents, take a screenshot. Now, I have a little bit more in here, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is basically what I want to see a screenshot of. So do a Command Shift 3 or Command Shift 4 if you want to do like a, if you want to kind of crop out what you want focused on. And then the screenshot will go on your desktop. So this screenshot, let me open this up, is what you're going to upload so that I see that you have all 5 folders in there. You can either do a screenshot of a cropped image or of your entire screen. At least as long as I can see that you created that folder, that's good. Okay. Okay. When you completed this part of the assessment, you should have 6 screenshots total. So what they want you to do is go through each of these folders and take a screenshot of each one. So select DGD 101, do a screenshot of that with the week 1 through 4. Select DGD 104, do a screenshot of that so that I can see all 4 folders are in there. 105. 106 and 104. Okay. I think I have more than that though. Let's see here. Okay, 6 screenshots. I think I have 7 because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll just throw this over here. So 6 screenshots should be ready. So here they are right here. So we're going to leave those there for now. Part 2. Does anybody have any questions about that before we go on? Good to go. Okay. Open your internet browser. So that means Firefox or Google Chrome. Go ahead and go File New. And you're going to type drivegoogle.com in the address bar, so you can copy that. And we're gonna paste it in there. Now, I already have an account, so you can kind of see my account here, but if you don't, you might need to sign up for it. And this is your Google, Drive that you're going to download. You're gonna click on create account, which I didn't have to do because I already had an account, and walk through the steps, filling in appropriate information to create your account. Note, if you already have a Google account, simply enter your login information here to go to your Drive. And as you see, I didn't have to do that at all, just open it, so that's fine too. When you get to the Drives page, click on the new button in the upper left-hand corner of the page. So see how this says new? Click on that. And you're going to choose folder, and you're going to name that folder DGD101. So you're going to select folder, and then we're going to name it DGD101, create. Okay, so here it is right there. Double click to open the folder. Double click right on top. Boom, right there. With your folder open, click on the Finder and navigate to your documents where you previously created your DGD101 folder. Okay. So basically what they're saying is just click on your desktop, go to your Finder, go to Documents. Remember where you created all of your folders here? That's kind of what that's saying. Click and hold on your DGD101 folder and drag it so that it is on top of your Google window. Okay, so you're going to go to the DGD101 that you created with those 4 folders, and you're just going to click and hold that and drag it right over here and drop it. And that's going to upload it into this folder that you just created. Let go of the folder and allow it to drop into the Google window. Your DGD folder should now be dropped inside your Google folder. Take a screenshot, Shift Command 3 of your Google folder with your GDG folder inside of it. So you just have to do Command screenshot and do that right here so I can see that you did that. Any questions about that? Sounds good, Gregory. So your screenshot, again, will be put on your desktop. And it should look like this. So I can see that you have your Drive, your folders in your Drive, and that's what the screenshot looks like. Pretty simple, right? All right, so part 3. So keep everything on your desktop as you're taking these screenshots for now. Part 3, so now you're going to navigate to your dock and click on your Launchpad to open it. So if you're on a Mac, there are a list of command key combos for my MacBook. There should be, yes. I can try to get that for you. That's something I can probably try to send later here. Yeah, there's somewhere a list of commands. Let's see. Keyboard shortcuts right here. I'll give you this. There you go. Okay. Okay, so you're gonna open your Launchpad. So Launchpad is right down here. See on the very bottom, I don't know if you guys can see this. At the very bottom of my toolbar, I have, it's like a little rocket. So you're gonna click on that little rocket, which is your Launchpad to open it. Once it's open, you're gonna click on the Reminders application. So click on that. And you're gonna click on Reminder, which right here. Okay, so that should be popped up. I'm gonna delete this one here. Hold on one second. If I can actually just delete this. Nope, so you already have just tasks in here. Okay, I'm just gonna leave that in there. Okay, yep, I can start over. Let me make sure I'm sharing my screen. Okay, hide this. All right, so you're gonna go to your Launchpad and you're gonna click on reminders. Can you see that? Okay. So I guess this part would have to be done on a Mac because it's going through actual Mac apps that you're using here. Somebody was asking about PC or Mac. So once it's open, you're gonna hit the plus sign on the upper right-hand corner. Okay. When you see the blinking cursor, see a little blinking cursor after you hit that little plus sign, you're going to, when you see blinking, type the phrase backup computer. Okay. You're gonna type backup computer. And then when you're done with that, hover to the far right of the words you just typed and click on the lowercase I. It's this little I that appears. And what you're gonna do in the new panel that opens, you're gonna check the box that says on that day. Navigate down to repeat and click on none. So make sure that it says none. Change the settings to every month. When you're done, click done in the lower right corner. Oops. We could just click done. I don't think it has the lower right hand corner. It just kind of navigates it. When you're finished and have your reminder set for once a month, take a screenshot. So you can click on that and do a screenshot. Boom. Any questions about that? So it would be a screenshot of what you just did there. There's my drive one. I think this is my, yeah, this is my reminder one. So I'm kind of gathering all of these screenshots. Okay, so that's your part 3. Part 4 is well, if you're having issues, let me know. Part 4 is creating a new zipped folder. So you're gonna close or minimize all open windows. So all you see is your desktop. Then you're gonna go to File, New Folder. And with your new folder selected, you're gonna highlight it in blue, click on File, Rename, and you're gonna rename this DGD101 underscore assessment 1. You're gonna click on the screenshot and drag it into this folder. So let me go ahead and do that. You see my desktop. Okay, so you're gonna go up to File, New Folder. And you're going to click right on the blue part and you're gonna name this DGD101 Assessment 1. And then you're gonna take, remember those 5, I think it was 5 or 6. Was it 5 or 6 screenshots? I think it was 6. Hold on one second. I'll make sure I'm giving you the right information here. Should see how many zipped for. Okay. The first screenshots you have 6, I believe. When you have 5 folders, 6. Yeah, 6, 7, 8. So you should have 8 total. Yep. All right, so you're gonna just drag and click on all 8 and you're gonna dump them right into that folder. And you can double click to make sure they're in there, right there. There's 2 ways to zip a folder on a Mac. You can either select the folder once you're ready to zip it, go up to your Finder, go to File, Compress. And there's your zipped folder. So it'll zip it so that you can just send one file instead of all 8. And it compresses it too. So that's why you would do a zip folder. So you would keep both, but upload this zip folder. There's another way you can do a zip file, create a zipped file, is by selecting the folder. It's like a shortcut key. Push down the Option key and click right on top of the folder. I'm sorry, not Option, Control key, which is right next to the Option key. Hold down the Control key and choose Compress. And then you can upload that for your assignment. So it says here, you should see a new file created that ends in zip, which is the file you will turn in. And then you're going to submit your zip folder for the assessment. If you have any questions of what needs to be done, also see how I'm going to grade you, go into the rubrics, and it kind of explains what I will be looking for all full marks. You can go into the rubrics for both assignments to get a better sense of how I'm going to be evaluating your work. Any questions about that? I think Launchpad Control Center on a PC. Swipe in from the right edge of the screen, tap search, control panel. Okay, good. All right, I just wanted to make sure you guys were aware of that. If you are on a PC, I have screenshots done on my tablet. Can I transfer them to my Mac? Yes, you can do that. You could either email them to yourself. You could do it through a cloud backup. So you can grab them and then, upload it that way. All right. Oh, look at this. I'm not sure why that's doing that. That's weird. Any questions about any of that? I did have a little end slide here, but it looks like I deleted it for some reason. A little thank you, wrapping up my lecture. Yeah, Jeff, that's typically what the only difference is, besides the navigation and trying to get to certain files and how you store them, shortcut keys can be different in a program like Adobe programs, but that's usually it. PC versus Mac. All right, no questions? You guys are easy peasy. You know how to get a hold of me. If you have any questions or concerns, go ahead and text me or email me. I prefer email, and then, whatever. I usually get back to you within 24 hours. Don't forget, Craig is my wingman. So if I'm not available, he can help you out. We're all here to help you guys. We want you to succeed. So don't feel like you're bothering us. And, if you're stuck, I'd rather you guys reach out. There's no dumb questions either. Like, we'd rather help you guys out than have you stuck and waiting at the last minute. So, yep, go ahead. Do you want to turn your mic on? Yep. Go ahead, Jeff.
My question is pertaining to the battery function versus the using it while it's plugged into the power bank. I'm curious because I know with a lot of the older laptops, and I haven't had a laptop update in over 10 years, it used to be an issue that it would be bad to leave the power bank plugged in with the battery turned on
Mm-hmm.
or connected, because it would cause it would shorten the life of the battery. But I know that there have been some changes in the past few years pertaining to how the software manipulates being able to recognize when it's using the power bank versus the battery.
Mm-hmm.
So my question is, if I'm using my MacBook as stationary on my desk, and I like to leave it plugged in while it's on my desk, is that going to be an issue for potential burn-in for the battery?
You know what, that's a great question. And I think that depends on a lot of things too. But I had MacBooks all my life, like, and had them plugged in all the time at 100%. I had one that lasted 10 years and plus. Actually, it's still lasting. I took it one time to get it looked at for the actual battery started puffing out a little bit at the bottom. And I took it in after 10 years of having it. And they're like, you know what? Do you plug in your computer all the time? Do you ever like let it just go? And I said, no, I always have my computer plugged in. They're like, your battery is in amazing shape for that. So they
Yeah.
said that didn't affect it at all. So I don't know. That's a great question. I know that there have been, like you said, like I'm showing here, the energy saver in your preferences. You can actually enable, like right here, it says enable power nap while plugged into a power adapter.
You're still showing the presentation.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Let me see if I can get this one here. You see that?
Yeah.
Energy saver. Did you go to that?
I did actually. I looked into that last night briefly, and that's what made me kind of question, because it seems like they have it set up in the software to where it recognizes when it's plugged into power, so it doesn't use the battery.
Yeah.
And I was trying to make sure, because I didn't want to cause potential harm to it.
No, I don't think so. I don't think it will.
Okay.
I mean, like I said, I've had Macs for over 10 years and I've never had that issue.
This is my first Mac ever for me.
Yeah. Well, good. But but the thing is too, I don't know what your surroundings are. Like people could have more humidity in their home. Like, I don't know.
I run mine. I've been in computer tech support for over 20 years, so I keep my environment computer friendly.
Okay. But you know what I mean though? Like you could
Yes,
have
I do. Yes, I do.
certain environmental changes that like affect it. So like,
absolutely,
it may work for you, but it may not work for me.
Yeah. No, I got you.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't think this is the first time I've ever heard of that when I started teaching this class, as far as having that option to do that battery choice. So I'm kind of still new to that too.
Okay.
But that's a great question. Like I have, in my experience, I've never had any issues with it being plugged in all the time.
Okay.
Yep.
I just figured I'd ask, since the question was, to me, it's pertinent. I don't know if it,
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Yeah, it definitely is. Like I said, I never had that issue before, but I'm sure you could probably Google a whole bunch of other people that did have issues.
Yeah.
So, but good questions for sure.
Okay. That's it.
All right. It's great to have somebody here with that experience too. So who knows? We can all learn from each other.
Well, I've done support for some Macs over the years, but the use in PC far outnumbers the use of Mac in everyday use for most customers in the environment I was working with. So
Yeah. It's all relative to what you're doing for sure. Yep. Very cool. Well, maybe you can help out on the PC side if anybody has questions.
if I don't know, I can find out.
I might be coming to you, Jeff.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Well, I'm going to wrap this up if you guys don't have any other questions, and you guys enjoy the rest of your day. And I'll be seeing you on the discussion boards. All right, you guys, have a good one.